Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This demo is going to be about NotebookLM. So this is one of the tools in my tool stack. I love this platform because it takes all of your documents and research and anything that you've created for assets and puts it into organized assets or creations. So I'm going to first start with a presentation. This is actually a presentation that NotebookLM wrote with their workspace. And after this presentation, just to give you an overview of what it is, I will go into a full-on demo. So if you don't understand anything or it doesn't make sense, I will go over it with a live demo, but I just wanted to give the overview. So this is NotebookLM. It is completely free. That's the best part. You don't have to pay for anything. There are higher tiers, but I think it's like 50, 50 resources and chats daily, and I've never hit that amount. So it's completely free. And what it is, it's your AI research and thinking partner, but it is a little bit more specific to your sources. So, what I love about NotebookLM is that it takes all of your resources, and instead of using AI models like ChatGPT or other LLMs that can be very generic, although we have trained the LLMs to know your brand and your business specifically, it still might create what's called hallucinations. And hallucinations are answers that the LLM has gotten from the internet, and it might not be completely accurate. So what's so great about this platform is it only uses source-based material. So it learns your specific data, it's not general knowledge, and it only works with what you give it. So you'll upload a bunch of files, and it only uses what you put into this workspace and nothing else. So there won't be any hallucinations. If it's not in your sources, it will not be included. And then citations, every answer includes inline citations to verify the claim. So it's a very great education platform to make sure all of your materials are on point, on brand, and it's not going to make things up or put things that aren't relevant to what you're teaching. So there's three parts to the workspace. The first part is this left-hand side, which is going to be where you're going to upload sources. You'll hit the add source button and you can input a bunch of sources. There's a list in the next slide, but you'll be able to have all of your sources here. You can check the ones that you want to use to create the output, but this is where all of your resources will be stored and you can organize them there. This middle part is the understanding chat box. So you can actually, it takes all your sources and it creates almost like a Wikipedia summary of your business or whatever you have uploaded for sources. And then you can ask it questions. So you can challenge things in your work. This is also a great tool if you are studying something. So if you have a course that you are studying, you can upload the course here and all the source materials, and you can actually use this to learn and go deeper into that learning. And then this right-hand side is your studio. This is where you do the creation. This is amazing. There are different things that you can do with it, which I will show you all of them, but you can use them for different content using your resources. So the first step is you want to build your knowledge base. So you want to upload all of your documents and resources. So you can use documents, PDFs, you can upload PowerPoints. There's different files, like any type of file, audio, a Zoom call. So if you had a Zoom call, you can upload it there. Web and media. So you can actually grab YouTube URLs and implement it into there. And the capacity is a lot. So don't worry about upload as many resources as you can. You really won't hit the max. So you can also discover sources with their research agents. So there's two options that you can click from if you want to have more resources with citation. So there's fast research, which will instantly gather information. about the topic that you want to search, or you can do a deep research where the AI agent really does a deep dive and finds a bunch of findings and multi-page reports that you can use for your source, and then you can pick which ones that you want. So if you're doing a presentation, you want to have citations from outside sources, this would be a great way to get those. Step two is the understand and reasoning. So you can use this chat. I don't use it that much, but if you wanted to ask questions and dive deeper, you can use this to ask questions about the resources to learn more. And if you click on the numbers, it will show you the citation of where that information came from. Okay, so now we're going to get into the studio. This is one of the things that it does is mind mapping. So you can take text or whatever your resources are and create branch diagrams to showcase different relationships and key themes. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do with this with a mind map. I don't use it that much, just it's not useful for what I do, but it is cool to be able to, you can click on it, it will expand and it will just kind of show the flow. And then you can compare things and click on the nodes to ask the chat about a specific topic. So you can click this and you can ask questions. And so that is a cool feature for the mind maps. All right, the studio. So getting into the studio, the mind map is one of them. So this is where you take your sources and you create polished deliverables. Like this is amazing. So there's the audio overview. So you've probably already experienced the audio overview, the podcast that I have in my course. Those are my two friends that is from NotebookLM. So it actually took my course. I uploaded my course and all my resources, and I prompted it what I wanted to talk about. So, you guys listen to the overview of each module and the summary. So it's a great way to use as a podcast or audio to take your resources and make a podcast or an audio library where you can send to your clients. You can use it as content. I love this type of content because they really dig into your resources and the way that they talk to each other. It's entertaining. At least I think so. So you've already experienced the audio overview with my course, but this is a great tool to use for teaching. Video overview, you also experience that. That's the explainer videos. And we'll actually get into each one of these. So actually, let me see. Let's actually go into each one of these. So this is the one I just talked about, listen to your research, audio reviews. So there's different modes that you can do. So the deep dive, so that's the two hosts unpack connections. That's the one that you've listened to in my course. I really like the way that they communicate. The critiques, you can put it into critique mode to actually give you constructive feedback on the writing. So if you want to get feedback on your sources, that's a great mode to have it in. The brief is just one speaker summary on the resources, and then the debate back and forth argumentation. One of the cool features that they have is called interactive mode. So you can actually, once it's created, you could click interactive mode and you can actually interrupt the host during playback and ask a question, clarify a question to steer the conversation. So that's a really cool feature. So you can kind of guide where you want it to go for the conversation. Next one is your video overviews. So these are visual deep dives when audio is not what you want. So the format is an AI narrative video presentation. It pulls images, diagrams, and quotes from your sources. So if you have a logo, if you have brand colors or a brand document, you upload that, it will use your colors and your branding. There's two types. There's the explainer video and the brief video. I like to use the explainer. It's more detail, but you can do more of like a summary brief overview. And then the visual styles, I usually just do auto or have it select what it thinks is the best for what I'm trying to create. But there are different visual styles that you can do. And you can do it in different languages, which is really cool. All right, sharing and collaboration. So you can collaborate with your colleagues. So you can have them either view or you can have them edit. So if you want to create a workspace with your colleagues, and then you can publish notebooks to the web. So this is actually a published notebook LM one that they have for people to use. And so I'm using that one right now, but you can publish your work or you can view other notebooks of other work, which is cool if you want to learn something new. So everything is very secure. There's data privacy, so your data isn't used to train models unless you give it the thumbs up, thumbs down to give it feedback, the good content, bad content. And the data is never used to train AI models. So the data that you implement is very safe. And then this is your plan, choose your plan. Like I said, the standard free is more than enough. I have never hit my limit. So yeah, it's free to use. So putting NotebookLM to work, you can use it for sales presentations, you can use it for marketing content. So there are, and I'll go through it because I didn't mention it in the slides, but there's a report generation. So you can create reports to generate SWOT analysis, you can create a content calendar, you can do a lot of things when it comes to marketing. And then education is the big one, especially for fitness professionals. You can upload notes from a lecture, from like an actual speaking lecture to generate either a PowerPoint, or you can take different forms from writing to speaker, from audio to video. So it's just a great way to, everyone has a different way of learning. So you can take your content and put it into a video, into an audio, into a framework, which I'll show you. So it's really cool. So this is your dashboard. So now we're going to get into, I'm going to X out of this. And so we're in the NotebookLM. If I go home, these are all the featured notebooks, but I'm going to create a new notebook. So create new. All right, so this thing's going to pop up. What we're going to create today, we're going to use my Pickleball Fit for Life brand, and I'm going to use it to first create a slide deck. So a lot of things are going to take a little while to upload. So I'll pause the video so we don't just have to, you don't have to sit and watch it load. But I will create all of the assets, and then I will show you all of the final assets. First thing I want to do is I'm going to upload my logo. So I'm going to upload my logo, and then I'm going to hit add source. And I'm also going to upload the Pickleball Fit for Life book that I wrote. So it has context. And then I am going to upload a YouTube link. So I'm going to create a deck on proper warm-ups for injury prevention. So what I want to do is use a YouTube video with Alex Hormozy for the closer formula. So it creates the deck with the closer formula in mind. So you can do this with any YouTube videos. Just make sure that you've watched the YouTube video before and it's all content that you trust. So don't just click random videos. All right, so I'm going to click this. And I'm going to grab the URL.
You always wondered why that app didn't exist.
Okay, so I grabbed the URL. Go back to NotebookLM. I'm going to paste it right here. And you can paste as many as you want. I'm going to insert. And then I'm also going to go to my ChatGPT from the one we did in the course. And I'm going to paste my DNA, my blueprint, my business DNA. So I'm going to switch over. I'm going to grab my business DNA summary, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, I'm going to add a source. So you could do copied text. So if you have information from your LLM, paste anything here. This is my business DNA for the Pickleball Fit for Life that I did in the demo for the course. We're going to insert that. So these are all loading. And then if I wanted to, I could click the web or fast research and add in some data about injuries. So let's go click down. Let's do a deep research. Let's go pickleball injuries from improper warm up. And let's add some deep research there. Okay, so everything is loading on the sources side. You can see the chat. It's summarized my Pickleball Fit for Life concept. And now we've got the studio. So the first one that we will do is the slide deck. Now, I know I'm showing this in another demo, but just so you can see the whole dashboard working together, I'm going to hit this little edit button here because I want to add a prompt to this. So you can either click the detailed deck or the presenter slides. I always like to do the detailed deck for the context. So describe the slide deck you want to create. This is where we're going to prompt it. Create a PowerPoint presentation for my workshop on importance of a warm up for pickleball players. Use the, or actually, we're going to say, think like Alex Hermosi and help me with the close of the PowerPoint so that my audience will buy my pickleball training app. Okay, so I want the call to action for this presentation to be to buy my pickleball training app membership. Okay, I'm going to go default. You can do short or default. We'll go default, and we're going to hit generate. So that's going to generate. The other things we have, so we talk about the audio overview. I'm not going to do an audio overview on this. You've seen the example in my course, so you can create the same type of audio overview. You can do the deep dive, the formats that we talked about: deep dive, brief, critique, debate. And then once you create it, that's when you can go into the interactive mode and start interacting with the audio. I usually hit default because then it just makes it as long as it feels like it needs to cover the sources, but you can make it short or long. So that's the audio. The video overview, you'll see an example in this module, in these lessons, of how to create a video overview. But same thing, you can click it. You can do an explainer or a brief type of video, and then you can prompt it as well. So this is just, you want to prompt it to exactly what you want for the video, what you want it to cover. So be very specific. Use the prompting framework to do this. And then you can create the visual style. Mind map, we talked about in the overview. You can use that. Reports, you can generate a report based on your sources. Flashcards, so if you want to create flashcards to help you learn something, or you want to study for something, you can use flashcards. You can create a quiz if you want to quiz yourself, or you want to create a quiz for someone else. Infographic, I use this one a lot. Infographic, let's actually demo this one. So I'm going to hit this. You can choose the orientation: landscape, portrait, or square. I usually do landscape if it's for a presentation. Level of detail, I usually either hit standard or detailed. Describe the infographic you want to create. So let's say create an infographic on the importance of a warm-up for pickleball players to avoid injury. We'll see what it does. But this is great for creating frameworks, visual frameworks for content, especially for social media. Slide deck we just did, and then a data table. It will create a table of information, just like an Excel spreadsheet, and then you can actually convert it over to Excel to make edits. So it's going to generate here. I will pause the video, and then when it's ready, I will restart the video and I'll show you the outcome. All right, the assets are ready. So we'll start with the slide deck. And let's expand it. Cool. All right, so it used my logo, Pickleball Fit for Life, brand colors, the 10-minute myth, why most pickleball players break down and how not to. Also, if you want to prompt it to be a specific amount of slides, you can also add that into the prompt. Side note. So it talks about the problem, the elephant in the room. You want to play 3 to 4 times a week. That's the goal, but here's the reality. So that was part of my blueprint DNA, which is the emotion of pickleball players want to play, but they're afraid of getting hurt. So it's setting up the problem that is attached to the emotion, which is part of the closer formula to identify and clarify the problem. And then here's the truth. It's not your age, it's your lack of preparation. So it's setting the tone. So I'm just going to go through this so you can see that great graphics. It's using my brand colors, very clean. And then it shows the solution, the 12-week pickleball performance program, which is my call to action. That is also my business DNA, which is why putting your business DNA is important because it has all of your call to actions and your ideal client, your offering, your messaging. So that is definitely an important input to add. And then it does proof. Okay, so proof is part of the closer formula. And then, yeah, this looks pretty good. And then it has a little QR code, scan it, and it goes probably right to the website that I have provided. So that is the PowerPoint. I mean, this literally would have taken me a couple hours to put together, especially just like the coloring and just the organizing and the images. You can also like say that you want to make an edit. You can actually take this and upload it into another platform like Canva, and you can edit it in Canvas by like erasing something and then just re-inputting something. So I've done that before if I didn't like something that was in the presentation, or maybe I wanted to add a couple more pages. You can absolutely do that. All right, that is the slide deck. And then let's go into the infograph. Same thing, use my brand colors, play more, worry less, the pickleball longevity blueprint. And it has some nice little digestible snippets that are great for posting. Like I would post this in my Pickleball Fit for Life Facebook group to the audience. It's a nice visual. People love infographics that are very visual and pleasing. So this is took me 2 seconds. Like I could create a bunch of different ones based on my resources. I can use my ChatGPT or my LLM to say, create some content ideas, and then take each one of those content pillars or content ideas and create a infograph. So even if this is something that you can repurpose, if you want to say the post that I made on Instagram as a reel is the top 5 tips for a proper warm up, I would take that, plug it into here. This would actually be a good fit for that topic, and then create a infograph and post that on Facebook and LinkedIn. So it's great for repurposing your content as well. So I really like this feature. All right, that is NotebookLM. Like I said, it's a great tool for educators and just creating content in general. So that is why it is on my list for my AI Fit Pro tech stack. I recommend you play around with it. It's free, so why not? And I hope you find it as helpful as I do. All right, on to the next.